So, and I believe that we have this material with us. So this is what we will be covering and what I'm explaining, like introduction to SAP. I think I have done a lot, and I'm going to show us demo, which we'll be also be using later together. Yes. So I cannot rush you. This is gradual process. So like this module two, financial accounting, organization structure, yes, that is what we are going to be explaining. Chart of account setup and handles configuration. Yes. Procure to pay. So by the time we reach all this stage now, yes, we will be all be entering data, practicing it by ourselves. So one of the things that I'm going to explain here, so I think I have said that one before. SAP is the world leading enterprise resources planning. Yes, it's the number one. So this SAP on before now, some organization that they are using it, this company only give them their software to use. The company will provide server by themselves. So that is why any company that is using SAP, so they have to have IT department, very strong IT department that have highly specialized developers to manage the software. That is why it's very cost. So, but now with the advance in technology, cloud-based computing, so now everything now is being held remotely in cloud. So they have been provide cloud access to their system. So for the cloud as well, it is also now being categorized into different category. So we have what we call SAP public cloud. Because all these things are something that you have to know and you have to have the understanding, because this thing is not something that when you finish this course you will just abandon. Maybe weekly, monthly, you have to, anytime you see any document, any video related to it, if you are not currently using, you have to be updating your knowledge. First, it is very wide and it's kind of specializing, like maybe you are computing, you will be seeing many code in this. If you want to learn this, if you want to master this SAP, because most of the name, most of the ledger, most of the activities that you will be doing is being divided by code. So SAP, yes, SAP. What is SAP? Some are calling SAP, some will call it SAP. But the full meaning of SAP is a system application program. System application program. And it's a German software. Their headquarters is in Germany. It's been designed by it's been designed or developed in Germany long time ago. So this SAP S for HANA, this HANA is like a database. A database. This HANA is a database that power this SAP now on cloud. So it's a database, SAP HANA. So SAP HANA is a database that power this SAP software. So we have SAP Public Edition and SAP Private Edition. Or you can say SAP Public Cloud Edition or and SAP Private Cloud Edition. For SAP Public Cloud Edition, the difference between the public cloud and private cloud is how they structure this database, this thing that we call HANA, how they structure it. For the public cloud, they call it multi-tenancy. Public cloud, they call it multi-tenancy. This thing, I want you to, anything that I'm saying, I want you to take note of it, to take it seriously. Because these are the things that if you are telling people, yes, I have knowledge of SAP, and these are the things that if they ask you and you are able to give them answer or you have idea, they are going to believe you 100%. Yes, that you do. So at interview or anyone that want to give you work related to this system, they will not give you laptop or oh yeah, login, let's do this, practice this. They will ask you questions, some technical questions. And based on your response, they will know that yes, you know these things. The reason why, yes, I say the practical, we need to do the practical. There are other things too that even if you read the book, if you know do that practical, if they ask you question, if experts ask you, so if you are telling me, I can also, yes, I can also know, yes, if you just know it theoretically, yes, you have read about it. And if you have actually practicalized it, I will also know. But most companies have that they are even looking for maybe SAP like Dangote now, if you want to use they are looking for accountants to join them. They are going to train you as an accountant to use their system. But if you are doing interview, maybe they have 10 people, and when they ask you question, you have idea of SAP. So that means you have an edge over others candidates. So the difference between SAP Public Cloud and SAP Private Cloud is how where they store their data. For SAP Public Cloud, they call it multi-tenancy, like tenants, multi-tenancy. What multi-tenancy means is it is where your data is located, the memory that they use to store your data. It is not only your data that is being stored there. So there are other companies that is using that system that their data is also stored there. So it is like a building that has many flats, and you have rented one flat, another person, you have a co-tenant, rent another flat, or I should call it room, different room, you rent one, another person, right? Rent another one. So, but for the private cloud, private edition, that building is only like they only make it for you. It is only you. Where your data is located on cloud is only your data that is there. So, and that thing, f- for that reason, private cloud is more expensive than public cloud. So most company like banks, because they have the regulation. There are some data that, based on the CBN and Nigerian Data Protection Act, that you cannot even store it in a location outside Nigeria. It has to be in Nigeria. And there are some data that it's have to be protected. Maybe if you want to store it, they will say you have to store it in Euro and in a private cloud, that where your data store, another company is another company data is not stored there. So you have the full privacy of your data. So for the public cloud too, that doesn't mean that you don't have a privacy of your data. Your data cannot be accessed or seen by another company. It's only the person with authorization that we have access to data. But the fact that, yes, your data is being combined together, so the risk is more high than where your data is only your data that is being stored. So that is the difference. So in the other aspects, there is no difference. So in deployment, private cloud is more expensive than public clouds. So that is another differences in SAP edition. So another thing that we also like to talk about, I will talk about SAP Fiori. That is their user interface. SAP Fiori. If you know SAP before, it's just like a programming. So, but the new design, the new interface, now it is being called SAP Fiori. So I will try to also check the account. So I can clear this. So the SAP Fiori, yes, I will open my own, and later that is what we are going to be using. So you will also open your own. So another things that I will also like to explain before we go deeper. So another thing that I will also like to explain before we go deeper is all these things. You go through your note, everything that I have explained, so you are going to get more knowledge of it. So why SAP? What make SAP unique? What make SAP unique? We use a sample when we are doing the introduction, um, from the information that we got from Mr. Hassan. Uh, Mr. Hassan, sorry for we are using your own case as an example, but you have something that can help the class understand the concept better. Mr. Hassan is a CFO in a conglomerate with 5 companies, and they are using different software in each companies. Even apart from that, you may have if you have many companies under you, you may also be using same software. You can be using, let's say, Sage or Do or any other software, but you are using them independently. They are not connect together. That is why SAP is unique and is for the big companies, multinational companies or big conglomerates. You can see most of those that they are into oil and gas, like Renaissance, uh, Chevron, Total Energy, all of them, they are multinational companies that they have operation in many countries. These people, they are using a single system, SAP, to monitor everything. So as Mr. Hassan have that 5 companies, if they are using SAP, they will be only using that one SAP, and they will use it for all their companies. So in SAP, we have what we call SAP hierarchy. We have what we call clients. What we call clients in SAP hierarchy. So this client is you, the organization and the business that subscribe to the SAP, that want to use system. Is the highest level in the SAP hierarchy, highest level. So we have clients. And after clients, then we have what we call company code. So this company code, these are the times that you need to know. This company code, they call it smallest units of the organization in the SAP. So company code, how it work, you have subscribed to SAP, you want to use system. So now, like a conglomerate, for instance, like Mr. Hassan companies. So you can create, okay, company A, Food Co. Nigerian Limited. So when you are creating company code, you create company code and company name. You create company B, you create all the companies that you are using. And if you are a multinational company, yes, that is why they call it code. They don't want to use name, but you can give it local name. So the system rates the code before the name. The reason why they use code is if you are a total energy, yes, they will say you are a total energy, but you are operating in Nigeria, you are operating in Ghana, you are operating in USA, you are operating in UK. So this company code now is the smaller units that have, that is it's unique, it have separate financial system where you can generate separate financial system based on the gap, uh, generally accepted accounting principle that is being followed in the specific region and their tax regulation. You can create a company code that follow IFRS standard. You can create a company code that follow what they call it US GAAP And based on, you can set your tax, everything, tax on sales, withholding, based on the country specific. Then we have our general ledger. General ledger. Of course, before you come to general ledger, you should be expecting to have your chart of accounts. So you create your chart of accounts, what you need, the asset class, if it is belong to expenses, if it is belong to the revenue, if it is belong to the asset or liability or owner equities. Then the general ledger. So in this general ledger, we have a master general ledger, or what we call national general ledger. So after that, there are processes or integration that need to be done between general ledger and company codes. So all this one is consultancy work. Because as a system user, you are not expecting to do this, but I feel that it is also good for us to have the knowledge of it. So that is why I'm explaining this. So between general ledger and company codes, when you are creating general ledger, you will be assigned company code, that general ledger. As you are defining the asset class, you are giving the ledger name, then you will also be assigned company code to general ledger. Why are you assigning company codes to general ledger? So the reason why you are assigning company codes to general ledger is when you have ledger and you have many companies, you can also have your consolidated company when you are a group, you are into multinational. So that consolidated company now is the one that we have access to all the ledgers accounts. So you may create many ledger, some accounts rather may only relevant to specific region or specific countries. So what you don't need in one country, there is no need for you, there is no need for that company to have that ledger. So if we have 3 companies and you have 100 ledgers and you have assigned, let's say, 40 ledger to one company. So when you are preparing accounts or those company, those users, system user of that company, they want to be posting transaction, they will only be seeing those ledgers that is being assigned to that company. So in this my explanation, I want to confirm, do we really grab it? Please, I need the answer. Do we get this explanation? It is very important. The relationship
Get the
between
explanation.
company codes and general ledger. And where we even have the company codes.
Obviously, me, I did not get the relationship clearly between the general ledger and the company code.
Okay. That's good. I will come again. So I say company codes means that it's either you have different operation in different countries. So company code is being defined as smaller units in the SAP that have separate financial system. That is, in each company code, it represents a company, a legal entity. Like as you have your different company under your conglomerate. So each company code also have it's also like different companies in the SAP system. You know, you are a conglomerate, you are the client. As you are the group CFO, you are the client. That is the highest level in the SAP system. So the company code now is like the each legal entity in the system. Company 1, company 2, company 3, company 4, company 5, and so on. So the general ledger, I believe we all know general ledger is a list of our accounts that we have defined and that we'll be posting our transaction like based on the class of accounts, like we have expenses and different accounts under expenses, right? And we have revenue, you can have each stream of revenue as well. And we have other item under assets. So this general ledger now, when you are creating your general ledger, we have what we call national or universal general ledger. So you create all the ledgers that you need under expenses. So for instance, now you may create, let me say, for instance, you may create, okay, uh, CIT, company income tax ledger. That is for the Nigerian. In the UK, they may be calling it different name. In Ghana, they may be calling it different name. So you have ledger for all those one as well. You may have specific expenses that you are incur in one company, you are not incur in another company. You create all those ledgers. So when you are creating ledgers, you are if I create now telephone expenses, for instance, I'm creating account. I create account code, I write account name, telephone expenses, category expenses. So company code now assigning assigning ledger to company code or assigning company code to ledger. So in company code now, I will select which company I'm going to use this ledger for telephone expenses. I know that all the company I will be incurring telephone expenses. I select all the company code that I've created. I create another expenses name. I call it maybe oil license category expenses ledger company code. So company code now, maybe out of my 5 companies, it's only my company that is into oil and gas that is incurring oil license fee. What I want to create, I will only select that company. So when I only select that company, so that means any users in the another company, because when we have user that is using the system, you will be only be seeing the ledgers that is assigned to the company that you are handling. So it is only the overall the clients that have access to all ledger. So for each company, we only be able to posting on the ledger that is being assigned to to the company that is using. So that means the person that is working in company A and they are not incurring that oil license fee expenses that I've created, they will not have access. They will not even see that ledger that is appearing on their own accounts. So for the company that is operating in the oil and gas, that is incurring that expenses, that have assigned that ledger to, they will be seeing that ledger. They can post in transaction in that ledger. And for all of them that they are incurring telephone expenses, all of them will see ledger telephone expenses account. So the importance of having that is because when you are creating, it's like you are creating a group. SAP is meant for group. So you are creating a group system. So you can generate a financial system that belong to the group. That when you are generating that financial system, you can see the profits and loss, combine all the companies under your umbrella. And you can also generate independent statements, a financial statement, profit or loss, statement of financial position, cash flow, everything for each companies on their own. Do we get this?
Yes, I think I quite understand it now very well.
Okay. So I believe when we go further, we are going to see get more about it, know more about this. Yes. But the fact that we are just for now, we are just going to explain and introduce ourselves to this system. Yeah. This is not the account that I want to actually open. Let me check our charts. So this is the system for those of us that we have not been able to log in. So you enter your mail. I think we are all have done this. Then your password. So you say the link has been sent to your mail, so you can check your mail. I think I have been using this one before. I don't need to check my mail. I'll just continue and log in. So we have taken our time. I think we are going to discuss in the group like appropriate time if the 8:30 is good, and we are going to agree on hours that we are going to be spent. Yes, we are more concerned